Empire of the Sun. I think I remember. I feel like I haven't heard that band name in years.
I see snap.
In fact, I think it's been 8 years since their last album. Australian electronic duo consisting of Luke Steele from Sleepy Jackson and Nick Littlemore from Pnau? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Together having this real sort of fantastical vibe. At the time, Empire of the Sun had a bit of an influence on that synth pop era, though I feel like they might have been slightly overshadowed by MGMT at the time, releasing that sort of indie synthy music at the time as well. Their debut album, Walking on a Dream, introducing us to their sort of sound and visual style, which is always a bit out there, in a good way. The title track, Walking on a Dream and We Are the People, becoming quite successful hits across the world. Probably because they're quite lush, very catchy and very melodic. And you know, earning them several awards along the way. After this, releasing 2 more albums, of which I don't really have much to say because I kind of didn't pay attention at this point, unfortunately. But now with their new album, Ask That God. It sounds like a game show name, right? And it's pretty safe, and when it's not being safe, it's a little bit questionable. Look, there's nothing really groundbreaking happening here, although saying that, it might leave you with a little bit of a sugar rush. The first part of the album, when you hear it, it's like, that's Empire of the Sun. You recognize that blend of synths and funky rhythms, and of course that voice. And actually the first few songs aren't that bad. Changes and Cherry Blossoms being quite nice, having a nice rhythm, and it has these really catchy synths, and I feel like I've said synths about 100 times by now. But Empire of the Sun really know how to use one. Smooth and dreamy, whilst also remaining quite bright. If not sometimes a little bit too sweet. And I think they have a better control with the brightness with the next song, Music on the Radio, which kind of teases the brightness a bit more, leaving you kind of satisfied when it finally hits. Compare this though to the feeling you get, feeling like one of those fucking candy bracelets that are just too sweet, saying that there are these like little enjoyable synth solos going on, so that kind of saves it a little bit. From here though, the album gets a bit starting with AEIOU, sounding so much like one of those awful dance songs from back in the day, and lyrically not the greatest either. AEIOU should look inside. But most of all, it sounds so confused compared to so much of the album. And a good comparison is the song Happy Like You, which again is quite clubby and upbeat, but sounding so much better while kind of having that signature Empire of the Sun sound. Also, sometimes I really like the vocals, and then sometimes I'm like, it sounds too much like baby talk. For example, on this song, or Wild World. Wild World though, having this sort of interesting build up that comes in around the 2-minute mark with these like woodblock sounds and that kind of thing. Vocals swaying left to right, actually sounding quite nice, but it just builds up to nothing. Feels like such a waste and a bit of a disappointment. The album is sort of filled with these disappointing songs, like Revolve, again sounding quite confusing, or Ask That God, the title track, feeling kind of samey throughout the whole of the song. Nearing the end of the album though with Rhapsodize, featuring that robot from Star Wars. We lost the transmission, sir. Except speaking Japanese, I think. Maybe. Actually, I'm quite liking this song. It's very dreamy and reverb heavy, but it's actually done quite tastefully and I don't mind it. It's not groundbreaking or anything, but yeah, I think it's quite enjoyable. Then the album ends on this really bizarre song, Friends I Know. I kind of get the sentiment of the song, and I appreciate the sort of experimentation going on with the vocals, the pitch shifting and the whatever. And then it's kind of layered on this boring piano. Honestly, it just feels really unfinished. And then the vocals just get so over-processed that it's just like piercing and it sounds horrible, leaving you finishing the album on like a bit of a downer, not really wanting to go back. Yeah, the album is okay. The songs that are good feel a lot like their older stuff, nothing new. While it doesn't sound bad, it's not really doing anything either. And the other songs that are trying to do something kind of fall a bit flat or just sound really just confused. It's like they don't know how to drift away from that sound whilst under the name Empire of the Sun. And with all that, I would probably give this album a 4.5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. Did you enjoy the album? Let me know below. It is bloody hot here, so I apologise if I'm like all over the place. Feel free to like and subscribe or whatever, and hopefully catch you on the next one. Goodbye.